And that's impressive. But to me, I would prefer, let's say Vici, right? Take Advent out of that role, put in someone like Ronan, baby, and then let these guys just go ham with Advent IGLing sitting back, because that would elevate the tactics in a game, because now he doesn't have to focus on his position, his rotations, yada, yada. He can sit back and focus on the game and on what the team are doing. And you get one player that's highly skilled extra added into the game who can just dominate those aim duels. To me, that's a much more fun kind of Counter-Strike, you know? I can certainly see the argument for the other side as well, though.
The only thing I would say is, like, if anything, now would be that perfect time to try and train the next like brand of IGLs, because he can, if he was to move into a coach role, which I'm not saying he necessarily should, it might work for them, but it seems like he's already done it here, as he hasn't actually joined the server yet. But you could legitimately add in that young player, say pick someone else, like maybe, well, it's actually Orman who's not here, but you could get maybe Orman to do it, where you train him or you teach him what you're doing, stay as the coach to make new and adaptive strategies, and then you get that with also the ability right now, while they're in a teething period, for him to still talk. Because obviously in online play, there's no way that you're limiting coaches to freeze time, because it's not possible. You'd have to be inside their room to be able to limit them from talking to people. And some people be like, why don't you just sit in the TeamSpeak? Well, there are other brands of software available for talking to people. So, and also you could give an unfair advantage to teams in a team house who could just take off one earphone and listen for a bit. So it right now it gives a possibility for you to train a new in-game leader. While he might not be the best individually. Now, as said, I'm not saying that that's necessary right now. They're playing very well, and sure, he's not going to be the star fragger, but he's still doing a decent job. I don't think that's necessary right now, but it would be the perfect time if they were going to try and do it.
Like, look, Advent's got a 0.9 HLTV rating. It's not like this guy's getting 3 kills per game. So we're just using him as an example. We're not saying like, oh, Advent needs to go, he's going to get off this roster.
Yeah, exactly.
No, absolutely not. Advent's a great player. But all I'm saying is that when you've got these people that could, because it's so hard to juggle what you're doing. Like me, Tom, I've played Counter-Strike a long time. I've played competitive FPS games for a long, long time, all the way back to Halo 2 and Halo 1. Now, I still find it hard. I don't know if you get this or if it's just unique to me. I still find it hard to communicate while I'm in a gunfight. Like, calling while I'm fighting, I get so focused on the fight itself that I get choked up.
I think my biggest weakness, which obviously I can't repeat exactly what I say, my biggest weakness is swearing before I give information.
Yeah.
If I die, because I'll be like, oh, I need Dinko's beat button. And then I go, he's long, which obviously that second could make a big difference to teammates. But that's just I'm British, so you know it's in our blood to be toxic.
Well, of course.
I try my best to hold it in, but unfortunately, every once in a while it slips out. I can admit that. But yeah, that's probably my thing. I think I'm not bad at communicating while I'm playing, but at the same time, I'm also someone where if people don't listen, I just shut up. I'm just like, just focus on my own game. They're not wasting my time. So I can definitely see, like, within a team strategy game, obviously that's one of the biggest skills that we sort of have within Counter-Strike that sort of, well, beats out a lot of solo games or individual games that we talk about, where communication isn't always going to be key. You just have to look at what you're doing. This game, that's not possible. And I think that's why, well, these sort of 5v5 FPS games are my favorite, is because you're not just going to be rewarded for being the best individual player. Like, it's obviously a big part of things, but take, for example, Simple. Simple has been one of the best individual talents for a long time, maybe 5+ years. Like, he was playing in Flipside. There was no doubt individually he was one of the most skilled players in the world. Was he the best player in the world? At the time, no. Because he would make stupid decisions. Like, he would go like running in with a deagle. He would buy, for example, when he shouldn't. He would ignore Blade. Over the last few years, he has developed his communication, his individual skill, along with the fact that he communicates better and doesn't make as many silly mistakes. That's why he's now the best player in the world. So I like the fact that you can see these young talents, like, for example, Ronan, who right now is making those same stupid mistakes that we see the likes of Simple do in the past. I think Zai was the one sort of exception, or maybe someone like Brolin as well, where you kind of look at them and go, you're so young and you're not really making those mistakes. But I think that's also because of who they played under. Like Zaiwu, when he came into at least a top professional team, he was playing under Alex, who I think is a truly fantastic in-game leader. I can't wait to see that Cloud9 roster.
Yeah, yeah. Well, once we see the full Cloud9 roster in action, it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Obviously, we are just having a little bit of tech issues while we wait for Alma to get on, but I've heard he'll be back in just a little minute, thankfully. So we won't be here for too long. But yeah, when I look into the oh, look, he's here already. He's back. He's ready to roll.
Nice.
Yeah, I for me, I've always wanted them to bring it back over to the ability for a coach to talk all the time. And I mean, obviously, with what we found out has been happening since 2015, quite good. They didn't.
Forza, well, not Forza. Hardly would have been the best team in the world. It's like, and they beat Astralis in the major final. Their coach was talking the entire game. Either way, let's get into the pistol round. Zoking, Jamyoung running riot, exactly what we expected. A fast play towards the ramp. They have already dominated in this pistol round, and they've gone for a CZ raid boss.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I don't like it.
On Sakai as well. Interesting. Probably not the player I would point out. Probably the one player I would point out as not being the individually skilled guy on the team, but well, he's been shot in the side of the head, so he's gone. So it's all
money
down to
well spent.
Absolutely. Good investment. So
like
yeah.
me opening cases.
That's gotten
not the same success rate.
That's gotten worse return than the oh, well, I was watching a thing recently, like movie breakdown analysis, and there was a movie, it was like $130 million and it made like 10 million or something like that. Not profit.
How?
Like that's all the intake they got from sales.
How?
Oh, I can't remember what it was. Damn it. It was like one of the biggest flops ever. It's mad when you see that kind of thing happen. Like, but there's some seriously good movies that have just fallen by the wayside as well. That like no one.
Yeah, but most
up.
of them still at least make
Pacific
like,
Rim, dude. That's one of them. Like that movie's actually really good, and it just flopped like crazy. I remember I even wanted to go see it. My friends didn't.
It has got a crappy name.
This is it. Even the marketing was kind of bad for it as well. Like they did everything the wrong way.
It should have called it like Big Robot.
Big Robot Fight. Like it's got John Boyega. It's a sick movie. It's a Guillermo del Toro movie. Like they're always banging.
I'm a big fan of John Boyega.
Yeah, he's sick.
Either way, we are seeing a force buy come in. Lots of rifles for Vici. So you talk about the amount of SMGs we saw coming in for Invictus. That's what I would call the cocky buy. This is a relatively safe one. Now, Orman, he has been dinked up. I would like there to be a world where Jamyoung ends up potentially with the rifle, but it depends how they're going to play this. If Jamyoung plans to get aggressive and try and clean up some of these weapons, fair enough, keep the MAC-10. If not, maybe juggle that around. Jamyoung is somewhat hunting here and just about gets away with that one. And, ooh, Orman goes down. But that's actually fine. As long as they retrieve this rifle, it's not a problem. And Wang is already saving. So they're doing a very good job of keeping these rounds clean. All the weaponry restored as well. For the CT side, yeah, not really going to be too much here. Oh. There's no need for this. They really want to kill him. He's only got a scout.
Dude, so actually, Pacific Rim made profit. I was just looking it up.
Yeah, that's
quickly.
what I was gonna say. I was like,
411 million.
Most movies make like at least some profit, but a flop would still only be making a bit of profit because obviously you're making a movie. Like it's expected to make a hell of a lot of money.
They made like 60 million off it out of a like 150 million budget. Like apparently it cost 350 million total. And they made 400.
That would still be, that would still be considered a flop.
Yeah.
Considering who's in the movie and whatever. But like, obviously, like, because that's the thing. If 10 million sounds a lot, but when it's a movie, that's really not much.
If you've invested 350 million, you get 60 back. You kind of be like, bro, really? That was a big risk. You could have lost a lot of money on it.
Oh. Okay. Bingo's got a Zeus kill. Wang's found one with a scout. You retreat the AK for at least a second. They've made this one costly at least, but obviously, as said, the T's have done a relatively good job over the last couple of rounds. If they drop one more player, this is a very good round. It's already all right for the side of Beyond, but Oi, I don't really see a way he gets out of this. And well, Zoking will be there to put him down. So they've got a couple of kills over the last round, but realistically, money is now very good for Vici. They're on the T side of this map, where we saw how dominant their CT side ended up being when they played previously versus Invictus. And well, although I am not really singing the praises of Invictus today, they are much better than After Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reality is, VGT side here, they should just be wrecking face. I don't really see a lot of room to get into this series when you're looking over towards After. As we even mentioned when it came down to maps, there's nothing. Like, there really is essentially nothing that looks good for them. You would sit here and go, oh, they'll probably win that map, or it's a solid start. And you can see immediately they're just getting absolutely wrecked. All these duels going in towards Vici, outside control in their favor. Sakai falls down to Omen, and at this point they should be able to get into the A site pretty much for free. Bingo's just stuck behind a smoke. Oh, but he's ready for Jam Young. Oh, he still gets it. The timing was so terrible.
Whoa.
He even connects a headshot onto Alman. He was out of ammo in his M4 and didn't want to reload, cautious that someone else coming up through head. Well, no, actually, because Oi was down below. I suppose they still could have. That's unfortunate. And that headshot connected to Alman. If it was a P250, it could have been easy. By the way, I just took a look because I knew there was something. There was a movie recently. Did you see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ages ago, 2016? They brought it out.
The first or the second one? There was two.
Out of the Shadows. I don't know what one that is.
The one with Megan Fox in it, right?
I have no idea. I haven't seen them, but it lost $80 million.
Oh, damn.
And Hellboy, the 2019 remake with Ron Perlman. No, wait,
yeah,
without Ron Perlman. The other guy came in.
Yeah.
It lost 40 million.
That. Yeah, that's not surprising. That was not a great film.
Yeah. The other two Hellboys are the old ones. They're banging. Great movies.
Yeah. The originals are great.
Ron Perlman's sick.
Replaced an actor that people liked.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah. No one's original anymore. People just like remaking stuff.
Oh, also one more thing. Tomorrowland. I don't know if you saw that ages ago. It was like marketed like crazy. Lost up to 160 million.
Jesus.
Damn, that's a lot of money, man. I'm just getting sucked into this now. How many of these oh my god, some of these are terrible, like 150 plus. Someone got fired over that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh, once again, we're down to pistols for After Gaming. Not been going great. They managed to retrieve an AK onto Bingo, but in the meantime, they've lost another player. The bomb's been planted. They don't have a kit. They don't have any utility. They do, however, find a kill onto Kaze. They need to try and pick these apart. Bingo, this is a nice round from him. That's 3 kills already. Flashbang's going to slow them down, and they really don't have time to waste. They've got to clear this man off the site, and they will do. It's left onto Zoking, and he's going to go down as well. I think they've just about got this, yeah? Actually, with plenty of time left on the clock. That is a big slip up from Vici. That should have been a really easy round. Instead, that 1 AK slipping into the hands of Bingo, and he explodes with their first round on the board.
Awesome stuff. Actually getting around for After Gaming straight away. Boom. They've got a chance. But they've got to follow up, really. Like, look at the investment. It's going to cripple their economy quite a bit. Wang's taking out the AWP to look to do a little bit of damage, presumably towards outside. And by the way, Tom, I found out what movie I was thinking of. Found it. The, when I'm saying a bigger flop than Boom, Mortal Engines. See that one? It's
no, but I was thinking about it.
It's by a very famous author, the book. I think it was Tolkien wrote it. No. So I'm not sure. I'm sure someone can correct me on that. Philip Reeve, I think. Really famous book, anyways, and it's the biggest flop of all time. Lost 178 million. So
when did that come out?
It was like 2019, I thought. 2018. Yeah, massive flop. So that's what I was thinking of. It's like a lot of more recent movies are up there, like The Lone Ranger. That was sick. Lost nearly 200 million potentially. As an inflation. Mental. Oh, bingo.
Oh, dear.
Unfortunate.
That's gone very badly wrong for bingo. But Marek has traded things back, and with the amount of damage they've done to the players of Vici, this is looking possible. Kaze finally has his AWP in play. Well, with 2 quick kills coming back, it's left onto Kaze. Bomb down. Don't really need to fight this one. They've got the 2 versus 1 already. If he can retrieve the bomb, he could go back to the A site if he wanted to be a little bit cheeky, and it seems like he might. As there's nobody currently on that site, he'll be able to get an after-plant position. We all know what this man can do with the AWP. Sort of mentioned that as of recent, we've been looking more at Jam Young than Kaze, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I can't tell if he's just overplayed this, though. I think he has. Oh, maybe not. Oh, if they just gone rotating, he might have... Oh, you jammy. Well, Kaze, not Jam Young. He's going to get the bomb down, and they're rotating towards the A site. And the thing is, for a little while, they still won't hear that this is on B. So this is going to waste an awful lot of time. Now, the remaining 2 players don't have a kit. I imagine there is one down somewhere, but he's managed to waste about 15 seconds with them not even coming in his direction. They're finally going to make the rotation around to the door. First shot landed. That's all he needed. 20 seconds left, and he can hear Wang rotating around. Bomb's going to be tapped. He finds the kick. Kaze, that was played to perfection. I thought he'd overthought it a little bit there with the rotation back towards the B site, but turns out he is the big brain man.
That was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I got to say, Kaze blowing me away with that, and 5-1. It's a really depressing scenario for after. As I said, that was a round they really needed to take. And with that one falling by the wayside, you're really in this position where I don't quite know where they're going to be at, mentality-wise. I see they've actually gone in for an investment still, able to afford that up on Wang, but it's gone straight away. He gets 1 kill to Zoking at least before falling. Well, that op is irretrievable. It's out in garage, and these guys cannot physically cross to it at this point. They've lost control over outside, and that is a massive... Like, you'll think, oh, well, at least he got a kill, right? But no, it's a massive loss to take straight away. Because it's not only just that, obviously, it's a 4v4, and that it's now harder to defend the whole map. It's the loss of information. So you have to have a player in secret. You have to. And Vici know that. With that, your player hasn't got the element of surprise. If they go down secret, they 100% know he's there. Plus, they have the ability to quickly rotate in through ramp or heaven. Like, the map is completely open for them now. Really, if I'm after, I need to take some aggressive plays. And you can see that's actually what Oi is doing. He's got a teammate coming with him to pinch into team main. Why is Marek pushing? You know they're not in team main. They're going to be coming here. This is a very aggressive play, and he gets punished. I don't get it. Tom, they knew that they had to become in secret, right?
Sure, let's just move on and see what Bingo's going to do, because he managed a 4K in a round or 2 ago. Sakai is gone. He's been caught by Orman. Jam Young's sneaking his way down the ramp. Is Oi going to be ready for this? Nope. And I feel like that's now 3 duels in a row where a player is not ready for someone to be there. You spoke about rounds where communication just isn't happening at all. This looks like one of them. Bomb. Oh, that's a bit awkward, but luckily there was a second player there. Jam Young will pad his stats, and I'm sure Advent probably not too happy about that one. But nonetheless, it is 6-1. They're on the T side. And yeah, After Gaming are kind of living up to the reputation they've built so far.
So here's the thing. You push into team main, one player through HUD itself, another through ramp. You see these guys are not there. The immediate reaction should be to drop down vents and play with Marek towards secret. So you've got a crossfire when they do decide to push forward. The secret guy, the guy in vents, takes contact, and oh, they're not even watching. Bingo comes out with a deagle and almost gets a double. Luckily, they shut him down and his teammate on the side after. Yeah, it is as simple, like, these protocols on the CT side, you need to know when you get set information how to react to it. And at the moment, you can see After do not have that. This was a very every man for himself. Oh, they're not in team main, so Marek pushes up secret kind of affair. I don't like it.
This round is getting scary. The same as last time. In these eco rounds, they get aggressive and they manage to take themselves some serious control. Zoking and Jam Young both low, but they don't check Jam Young even after the first kill comes in. It's very costly again, and Vici over the last few rounds really haven't made any money, but it doesn't matter. They've got 7 rounds on the T side. Like, even if they were to lose every single round, which, I'll be honest, Mitch, I don't think they will, but if that happens, they have still had a good T side of Nuke.
Yep. You could see the pressure that Vici applied, though, not in the previous round, but the one before. We were talking about the outside control and that real vat of information it leaves behind, and you saw the absence of it is what caused them to make those weird decisions to push up. They're not quite capable of making those reactive plays to the map control that they lose or gain. And that's what Vici are looking to exploit with this aggressive smoke play. Smokes into heaven and outside to stop these players from being able to gain any information on what's going on. It makes it much harder to call for what needs to be a rotate down to the B site. There is one in secret and one close, and it's the player close that might catch them off guard. But, oh my word, Zoking and Advent were both covering that as Jam Young took a nade out. He jumped to the side, 2 players still staring. That was so unfortunate for Oi, but he is now being punished, and although the rotates come down towards this site, they won't be able to deny this bomb plant.
Oh, okay. Zoking has gone down. Jam Young is just so good. The reposition makes it more awkward for Bingo, and he's coming under pressure. He does go down. His teammates a little bit further behind, as we are seeing the rotation from Ormond. Kaze's already managed to make it into position. Again, the time is ticking, and that's been one of the biggest threats to this Beyond roster, is the fact that they've run out of time. Good positioning from Kaze, looking for the final man, and he's just not been missing. 9-4, alongside Jam Young, 12-4, and it's not like they have a poor performer on their side either. Whereas on the other side, wow, Takai's not having a good day. Oi's not having a good day. And, well, a few big plays. And we could have actually seen this be a lot closer. Because these rounds from Vici have not been clean. Now, as we sort of mentioned, I don't think they're delving into their strat book whatsoever. This is the bare basics of, let's just rush towards the B site. And it really won't be that hard because they can't defend outside.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is...
Ramp or Vev.
So this is Vici. Yeah, as you said, they've really sniffed out the weakness immediately of After. As soon as they lose outside, there's practically nothing they can do. And the best that we've seen from After so far has been that 1-for-1 trade. But the map control that they lose because of it is just insane. Vici gets such an advantage against any team, but especially against a team that aren't so comfortable. No. Alman's able to take a quick double. He's 10 HP, but should be able to get to T-spawn. Tuck away with this rifle. And at this, you have to acknowledge the T's economy is quite bad. Like, Vici are in a spot where losing a round could cost them because they are getting punished in a lot of these aim duels. The reality is that a lot of the time it is these 1v1s or 2v2s that are being won out by Vici. And okay, you can say, oh, the rounds have been close, yada yada, but if Vici are winning every single clutch, it doesn't really matter, does it? Like 9-6 as a half, but all the rounds were close. Well, that doesn't get a map win for you.
Well, that's the thing as well. And I feel like once it gets down to a clutch situation, that's where you see the Vici players actually switch on. Like the round that Kaze played was played to perfection. Like he made it so that they did exactly what he wanted them to do, which it just shows the caliber of players are on a different level. Like it's not even close. And when we see some of these rounds, like they go for a faster play outside, they get the bomb down, they have a lurker, and every single person wins their duel, every single person does their job. And sure, in some of these pistol rounds, they've been caught off by aggression from ramp, for example. But all of the positions where they've been caught off is when the bomb's down. Like they've got the bomb down successfully pretty much every single round. It's just been, oh, okay, we push a little bit too much in our after plant positions once the round's pretty much done. So although they're not making a huge amount of money, the rounds are not that close. It's just that in the last 20 seconds, they push a little bit too much.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like it is getting incredibly tight. It's not like Vici are under threat. They're definitely looking like the more solid side, as you're saying. just a slight overextension, but that is due to just the confidence that they've got. Look at that. Glock kills even coming in. You've got Vici up on 9-1, and it's looking like we're going to see a 10th. These buy rounds, they're not even close, as you said, Tom. This is you gotta shield the eyes of the children. Don't let them see it.
Well, okay. Zoking killing everyone in this round. Second time's the charm for Oi, getting up the ladder. We haven't seen any of these go their way so far. The bomb's actually going down on B, by the way. So... he's just going to save? Yep. I'm not even going to give this one a go. I feel like at this point, I wouldn't even have minded if he did. Like, you're 10-1 down. Your opponent's on the T side, so realistically, the chance of you coming back in this game are probably close to 0. I don't know if you want to get your little stat sheet up, but I imagine it's very close to 0 at this point.
Yeah, you also have to take context into consideration of who these teams are. And yeah. I guarantee whatever the statistics are for a team coming back at this point, it is far more one-sided when you look at the fact that it's Vici versus After. Like, if this was Vici 10-1 down, they'd have an okay chance of coming back into it when they swap to the CT side. But because they're T side, they have this much of an advantage. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? I'd be very, very shocked.
Well, here we go again. It's another buy round. Still, it is amazing how they're 10-1 down, and Marek came into this round with 1 flashbang. Sakai came in with no utility. Like, it's just money mismanagement at this point, if they're not able to get proper buys on the board. Also, it's something we mentioned earlier in the day when watching Nuke, that realistically, you'd be better off going not for a rifle and picking up extra utility than just investing into the rifles just to have a rifle. Like, it doesn't really work for you. You're not going to slop it or stop any fast pushes. Oi, on the other hand, has invested a fair bit into utility, but realistically, it's only going to slow them down so much. Wang has been tagged to just 16 HP, so he can't fight the ramp anymore. And this means that basically, Oi has to get a multi-frag. That's the only way they win this round, and he switches off his gun the second they start pushing. So, yeah, now it's going to be an afterplant once again, and as we've said, pretty much, they haven't lost any of these. Zoking's already going to find another kill onto Marek as well. And, okay, there should be someone defending the bomb, but luckily, it doesn't actually cause any problems.
Well, we have seen quite an interesting turn of affairs. Wang picks up 1. He's out. He's bailing. And I guess at the end of the day, this is what we expected. But, well, no. At the end of the day, we expect Vici to win. But this is even a little bit more so. This is exaggerated. Like an 11-1 scoreline, T side of Nuke. Yeah, it speaks for itself. It really does. I don't think there's anyone watching this, Tom, that's going, ooh, 11-1. Is that good for After? Is this map that T-sided, is it? No, I think everybody can look at this on the surface level and realize that After are getting bodied. And even just the confidence of Vici at the moment is on display when it comes down to post plants and even early round. They're giving away a lot of opportunities. Like, we talk about Vici as a tight squad, and you can see that they're not playing as tight as they have in the past. But I can't fault them for it, because we know that they're capable. We know that they're not a team that will throw away these advantages completely. It's just that at the moment, they don't need to play super tight when it comes down to the late rounds, because, look, they just run outside and kill everyone, so you're not really going to be able to take it super serious, are you?
Well, yeah, there's not really much point. I think they already know at this stage they've already won the game. They can get the bomb down on either site whenever they want. They can take any portion of the map whenever they want. They're just the better team. It's not really much else to say about it. Like, again, they've gone towards the B site, but they've also found 3 openers along the way. Orman has been able to cut off rotations as a solo man for the majority of the match. Like, any aggression towards him normally involves a minimum of a trade, and over the last few rounds, he's been getting more than one. Jam Young, when called upon, has been fantastic. We're seeing save after save. Now, I can't really blame After for these saves because most of these situations are seemingly impossible. But at the same time, if you're saving weaponry every single round, something's going wrong. And in this round, I don't even think it's going to be allowed. There's enough money at this point they can try and hunt down. It will be Jam Young to fall at least, but the rest of the team are looking to try and push him. Oi has a hell of a lot of utility. He's going to try and use it just to stay alive. Flashbang into the corner. Any spray through Advent? Oh, not quite. And she goes down. So that's something. A FAMAS save in to round number 14 when you're 12 on down.
It is something. It's one of the better rounds for After so far, you could say. But that's still not good. Still pretty bad. Again, like, there's not a lot you can really say when you look over towards the After side. This game is just an absolute stomp, and I feel like we probably bring more value talking about movie flops, because there's at least some content there. Vici are just, they're a better team. We know that. Everybody knows that. What's your favorite movie, Twitch chat? Tom, would you say you've got... Do you know an underrated movie? Is there any movie you've ever watched and thought, damn, this was actually quite good? You're very pessimistic.
I really like the movie. I like the movie Click with Adam Sandler.
That's a good movie. I don't know if it's underrated, is it?
Not in particular. Oh, that was a nice shot from Wang. I wouldn't say it's underrated, but it's one of my favorite films. So I just thought I'd mention that one.
The message is good.
It makes me laugh because it's really stupid, but at the end it's quite sad, which is unusual for an Adam Sandler film. I feel like he tries to add messages into a lot of them, but most of the time they don't really hit home. Whereas that one did. I rate that film.
50 First Dates was pretty sad as well, right? I can't remember the ending, but I just remember it being sad.
Memorable, was it?
Well, I was a kid when I watched it, so I don't know. It was one of those things just for long trips in the car, portable DVD player. Whack on an Adam Sandler movie, but yeah, this honestly, yeah, there's just nothing to say. There really isn't. Vici, like we've said it all. Vici are good. They're getting map control. They're winning these opening duels. After look uncomfortable, they don't have the reactions to the map control that they're getting whenever they do get map control, which in itself is a bit of a rarity. Anything to add there, Tom? I don't think there is, but maybe you can think of something.
No, I think they're about to be pummeled once again. I hope Dinko's ready. I hope he's had the time to prepare for this next segment.
I don't know. His ritual is probably still ongoing, to be honest.
Hope Blair has had time to comb his hair and all that good stuff. And yeah, 14-1. Absolutely dominant. They didn't break a sweat throughout that. Like, I think the hardest rounds they have were versus pistols and aggressive pushes. You've seen Jam Young just destroy Kaze, Zoking having a field day. And that's not even mentioning Orman, who was basically cutting off every single rotation they attempted the entire match. So, yeah, that's one of the most dominant halves I've ever watched. The fact that they even lost a round is surprising. They didn't really deserve to. That was almost flawless from them. So, yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with Vici. It's what we wanted to see. As I said, if they're going to be a team to challenge the likes of Tyloo like they did earlier, they need to be dominating these sort of matches. And they're not the sort of team to sort of take this lightly. And I rate that. Though we've mentioned the quote many a time about if you play these sort of matches and you practice poorly, then you're going to end up playing poorly as well. And realistically, they're not doing that. They've invested into Jewel Beretta. Zoking has brought them in. There's been a few teams doing that. They haven't gone for the Julies in a kit, though, which is a bit disappointing. This round's actually going a little bit better. We might be about to see a second round onto the board. Kaze low. Advent. They push him from behind. You don't see many players playing the P2K, do we? But there's both Advent and Kaze running it in this game.
Yeah, it's usually the USPs, regardless of region, really. It's just a heavy preference.
Oh, no. No. They don't have the kit currently, and oh, they don't even need it. Oh, I thought they were finally going to get around.
No such luck.
Shoot his teammate.
It's just one of those games, Tom. It's just one of those games. I'm glad we made the point so clearly, because sometimes you can be tempted to be a little too generous to teams, and I'm glad we didn't kind of undersell Vici.
Romanticize it.
Well, no, for the simple reason that I think you can't come in here with the expectation that, like, when after get 15-1 down, you're like, oh, noobs, they've thrown this away. Like, no, this is what should have happened. Like, this is the reasonable expectation to have from this series, because Vici or Vici, you know.
All right, come on, Jam Young. Come on, Jam Young. We want some XM magic. That is what I am here for. You need at least a kill, preferably 2. If you get all 3, I'm impressed. That's what I'm looking at. They're even going to push into you, so you got no excuses. You don't have a skin, which means that you're not a true XM connoisseur like myself, but you are looking for the frags. It's 1. I'm disappointed. It's 1 kill. Not enough. You may be still in the lead in the round, but that should have been at least 2. And now you've left it on to Kaze. Oh, he's going to get the first tag. He's going to get the second. No, come on. Yeah, there we go. He needed to be traded there. I thought he was actually going to get a kill. Instead, both players left on a measly 27 HP. Flashbang through. Okay, it's going to make things a bit awkward for Advent, but not awkward enough. 16-1. I'm really looking forward to Dinko and Blair having to break this one down, because honestly, When we were talking about recent form and map statistics, obviously you look at the overall map statistics of Mirage for Vici and you go 54%. That's not great, is it, Mitch? Then you look at recent form. Now, they lost 4 times at the Summer Perfect World Asia League. Since then, they've only lost it twice, and that is with 6 wins in between, and they've only lost it to Tyloo. They've beaten Invictus twice, 3 times even. They've beaten Bren, and they even beat Tyloo twice on this map as well. So this is not a map that's going to be a walk in the park for anybody facing Vici. It may be one of the weaker ones in the past, but if you go over the last, say, month or two, their win percentage is actually a lot higher than those stats suggest.
And one of the things we highlight when you look at After, you know, Wang, solid player. He was getting up to absolutely nothing in the previous. Any kills he got were immediately traded. And then you look over towards Vici, who are a team that have been, oh, this is an interesting approach. Zoking up close versus
that
Pistols.
Was so fast.
It looks like, oh my god, this guy's nuts. He's hitting every shot. There's his first miss with the scout. Marek's 17 health. Sakai is being tagged through the wall. This should be easy. This should be as easy as you like it. The SMG's coming through to clean up these guys. At least a bomb plant's gone down, though. I think that's a successful round for After.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is in the previous map, right, the upsides of After weren't there. Bingo had an all-right game at best, and everyone else was asleep. Then when you look at Vici, Jam Young, 20 for 9. He was there. You've got Kaze turning up on the op in all those duels versus Wang. I really don't know if I can find a single positive for After, other than that their CT side was really weak.
Bingo was all right. That 4K bingo goal was pretty good.
But the whole issue for them on Nuke was their CT side. They had no idea how to approach it once they lost a little bit of map control. Now that they're on Mirage, they'll be a little bit more comfortable. But that's about where I end on my positives.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly more comfortable map, but at the same time, again, I think you have to put it in context. They came close versus Tyloo, who were messing about. They beat D13, who didn't make it to the event. They beat AZ, who I don't know who they are, and they just about beat Sigma, who are currently one of the worst teams as well. So we're not really singing the praises of them just yet, especially versus a team like Vici. I think this should still be a walk in the park, but at the same time, I expect more from After on this one. Like, this is the map they've chose. It's a more puggy map. It's a map where individually they can try and flex their muscles a little bit, and well, it's one that you should definitely be able to catch out some of the plays that Vici are making. This round already, Kaze's gone down. No more scout magic for him. But with a minute already gone on the clock, it does look like they plan to set up into this A site a potential wraparound through the connector with 3 players already here. Also, the rotation of Jam Young will be a relatively quick one, so they've got to be careful that they don't end up just basically pressuring straight into a stack. Zoking facing completely the wrong way. Jam Young maybe giving some false information that he had him covered. It wasn't the case, and Advent's getting spammed down beyond belief. Oh, okay, Sakai. That was a nice shot. Jam Young gets hit with the fadeaway, and Allman has no choice. He wants to try and save his rifle, bring something into the next round. The money for Vici's not great because of the 2 weapons they lost in the last round, and, well, he's just going to try and fade away.
I don't blame him. Saving over this rifle is definitely the right call, and this leaves us in a position now where After have at least gotten themselves that 1 round on the board a little bit earlier on. Hopefully a smile on their face as the first buy round goes their way, and yeah, this hasn't been a bad start, realistically. You win the first buy round. The second round as well was very close. They managed to do a lot of damage. They managed to get a bomb plant. Really, it was just Kaze on the scout that stopped them from having any hope in the post plant. So a good start for sure. But I'll be honest, Tom. I don't have a lot of faith. It's like...
No, I think it's fair after the last map.
Yeah, it's basically like, to me, looking at a forest fire and just hoping that it rains. Like, it might, and it might be enough to put out the fire, but probably you're gonna need to do something drastic to get rid of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just feel like there's players like Sakai who would be stood there with a watering can ready to help, and in fact, it's filled with petrol. Like, it's one of those things where, like, last map, we didn't really talk about the individual mistakes of After Gaming because they didn't get anything done, so you can't compare it to anything.
Yeah.
Whereas if this map, I can see that they're going to probably play better, but at the same time, that probably is going to mean that they're going to make something that annoys me. Because I'll be like, oh, okay, they've done well in this round, and then something silly will happen. So, I feel like it's a gift and a curse. If they manage to win this map, then huge props to them. Like, I'd love to try. Like, it's not like I want them to fail. It's just I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I don't think they will.
Yeah, exactly.
This round, at least, they're in a pretty good position. An MP9, a 5.7, a scout on the other side. A bit of a more passive round, though, from Vici, which I quite like. The last round, they gave away picks. And this is a lot of the time what benefits those, I would say, weaker sides, is if you give them picks away. Now, they are going to go surrounding this B site. Now, Jam Young is here with a rifle, and he's going to shut down 2, in fact. That's a really nice hold, but unfortunately, Advent doesn't have the range to do anything else. Orman trying to rotate in. This is risky. Ooh. It makes you uncomfortable. I thought he was going to go straight through. Kaze as well is trying to hunt. And Orman does already manage to pick off 1 more. Upgrades to an AK. Unfortunately, his teammates are far away, but Kaze manages to hit the shot onto Wang. And now it's left onto Oi. Talk about the slip-ups. This would be one of them. The push through the smoke not working, but Oi's trying to rectify things. He needs to kill off every single player. There's only 15 seconds left, but that is plenty of time. There's a kit next to the bomb. It won't be a problem for Kaze. I'm sure he's going to find another weapon just after defusing. And sure, it comes close, but you have to remember, there were 3 players without primary weapons in that round for Vici, and they still make it work.
That's the concerning part, right? You just know that their individual skill is so great that they can come through with these kind of big plays. Whereas on the after side, I don't think it's going to come through quite as frequently. You certainly can't rely on it. And as I said, you know, that first buy round going their way, it brought a lot of faith up. You're starting to feel a little bit better if you're on the side of after. And now, it turns back. It turns on its head so quickly. The Vici are back in control, and you've got one chance to make this early game still go your way. This has to be after gaming's round, or it is going to get real scary or real fast for these guys. At least managed to get out to the A site. They've got to plant down smokes to keep these CTs back out of the retake for just a little bit and allow them to set up in the post plants. But there is still going to be a lot of work to do once Vici do start to mount this push. You can see that Oi is trying to skirmish a little bit, and he had a very bad previous map. And it looks like it's going to continue with the flank by Alman working out perfectly. And now these players are kind of trapped in. They're getting boxed in. Marek is the one that has to make a big play. He gets himself one. Bingo and Wang in with others. And now it's evened up. Time is so low. They've got to get on that. They've got to stick it. And it looks like they might just have gotten it. The time is so close, but just about going in Vici's favor. Oh. That is ridiculous.
Oh, I feel bad for after. They didn't necessarily play that round wrong. They got into good off the plant positions. I guess the players falling towards the end. They're trying to deny that defusal, but that was ridiculously close. And I think when he initially started defusing that, he didn't have a kit. He had to tap it, go find a kit, come back, and then defuse it. So ridiculously close. Decent retake in the end from Vici, but it took such a long time. And that wraparound was a really nice attempt. I think it must have been in that moment where Advent found a kit, and that is, yeah, that's the closest I think we've seen.
Definitely one of the closest rounds of the tournament, I think, when it comes down to diffuses. I think you got to be good at, yeah, if you're after, because they don't have the timer, right? They thought it was pretty close. Now coming into this round, they've fully invested, and they've just been torn to shreds straight away. Look at this. Vici 4-1 and a 3 versus 1 on the board. No money for after if they lose this round. Certainly if they don't get a bomb plant. This is devastating. Truly is. This had to be the round, right? This had to be the one for after to bounce back. I think they probably could have just taken a nice light buy, but they decided to go in for the aggressive investment. I don't mind it. Sometimes you got to make those plays and try to get in while you know the CT's economy is so low. You at least need a couple of kills here. Wang, he attempts it, but he's given away his position, and this is where things do get quite dangerous.
Door definitely slammed shut in his face. And yeah, as you mentioned, although the loss bonus isn't awful for this round, at least it will have to be a bit of a break from the bombardment of Vici. And that's always going to be the sort of caveat, that we know those rounds are coming. Like, if there's a close one back and forth, eventually Vici will win one clean. So it puts their money back into at least an okay position. They've still lost a couple of players along the way. But if they can win this one flawlessly, financially they're going to be in a good spot, and then things really do become an uphill struggle. Kaze still able to afford his AWP. Everybody else now with rifles. There's no missing pieces anymore. And by the looks of it, this is at least an attempt to try and get the bomb down from after gaming. They've got a fair few smokes, a Molotov as well, which will probably be used for under the balcony. Just going to try and section things off. Flashbangs thrown out as a counter. They are going to put a lot of pressure on, and Zoking's actually cleared out fairly easy. Nice spray transfer from Advent, though. Even almost kills off the third. He's doing a hell of a lot of damage, and he alone may have just held onto this site. Sure, he'll eventually fall. With Marek so low and Oi only on a deke, it's making it a bit costly. Again, still only 2 players surviving, but I suppose for Vici at this point, they've already got 6 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they definitely have the comfortable position to play from. Again, it is that spot, though, where the damage is what makes this, what keeps the door slightly open for after. They can get back into this. It is possible. It's just very, very difficult. And if they are to allow any clean rounds to go the way of Vici, the difficulty becomes almost an impossibility. For now, at least, they've left that door ajar slightly. Whether they're able to actually fit back through it and squeeze it all the way open, well, that's what we're here to find out. It's certainly going to be a difficult task for them.
Does Ormond not have a gun?
No, he appears to have a deagle and 4K. I don't know what that's about. Maybe a misbuy? What's he done?
What an absolute melon.
Yeah, I would search for meaning in that, but I feel like he's just messed up. He got into the B site and went, I'm clicking 1, where's my weapon? That's an awkward state of affairs, but it might not matter with the opening kill going the way of Vici still. They've managed to find themselves a good spot to play from. Bridge the gap of the weaker weapon that they've got in play.
Oh,
and
for God's sake.
Just goes up close and absolutely shreds. Of course he does. Why are we even surprised?
This is a weird player to boost up. It boosts up Wang. He's going to get the kill anyway. That's to break the vent, but he's not going to go in that direction. He's just trying to bait a peek out, which he has done. Orman is going to go facing back in. They've pulled a rotation away, and that leaves Jam Young. Now, if it was anybody else, I'd be a bit worried. It's Jam Young. Oh, the player actually pushed through short. Didn't see him just yet. How? How's this happened? Jam Young, he gets away with it and gets 2 kills as well. Oh, dear. Wait. Oh, Bingo got the other kill. I thought he hit that for a second. Never mind. Kaze is going to close things out. 7-1. Money still slowly building. And, well, of course, Ormond's has just gone through the roof because he didn't buy a weapon and then got an AK.
That's one way to secure your economy, I guess. Just don't buy. I mean,
don't try this at home.
That's what an eco is, right? He's just ecoed. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Definitely not a normal position to play from, though. You don't you don't see that every day. Screw it. I'll just take a deagle versus a full buy. What could go wrong? Maybe they thought it was like an eco. I don't know. I wouldn't insult Advent by presuming he didn't have a handle on the economy. Instead,
I'll be honest. I reckon he's only died once, so it's very much possible that he dropped the gun over to someone else and just assumed they dropped him one back, and then they didn't. I think it'd just be something really basic like that. Advent is now just straight up AFK, or it seemed like it. It's moving now, so that's something. He's got a FAMAS. Don't know why he's got a FAMAS when he could have been dropped a rifle by Orman, but I guess he's just trying to get to 16k, and also I guess it really doesn't matter.
Apparently not.
Just kill him with a nade instead.
I know we said that this was this should be a one-sided series, like a very one-sided series, but I'm really impressed by Vici. Like, these guys are giving 0 space, literally 0, to their opponents. Like, individually, they're wrecking, but they're also not getting so overconfident that they're giving away any opportunities. They are literally just sat here going, you can have your 1 round, and that is all.
Yeah, I think the only player who I would say maybe gave away a couple of things is Zoking. Like, that round, he just wide-peaked ramp and got wrecked. Other than that, yeah, I get what you mean as an overall statement. It is the truth. Kaze is going to get the opener and just fall back. Doesn't really need to face this one. Wang's just trying to push individually in. It does seem like in the earlier rounds when they were playing with the pistols, they were trying to play as a unit. They invested into extra utility. They had themselves some smokes. They were like, guys, let's go for an A site setup. We'll push this one together. And now they've gone, screw it. Just run in with Deagles. Like, it seems like this is just purely demoralizing at this point for After Gaming. And I think a lot of the strategy they initially had has gone out the window. And honestly, after losing a map 16-1 and now being 9-1 down, I completely understand. Your morale is going to be in the dirt.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to smile in a situation like this. I mean, most of you at home have probably experienced it, right? You queue up a matchmaking game, you go up 4-0, and as soon as you lose a round, there's someone sat there saying, noob team, not understanding that you're winning. And when you get 16-1, it's like that, but a million times worse. Because you you kind of can't defend the noob team. Statistically, it's accurate.
Oh, Jam Young tried to be a bit spicy in this round, but it doesn't matter because Zoking's now got a triple kill.
I really hope they don't get back-to-back 16-1. Like, if I can wish for one thing, it's one more round from After Gaming. Like, just something. Like, even when we spoke to Angel, obviously it's in Valorant, but you guys will know him from the Hellraisers days. He was saying that, like, getting 4 rounds on the board can really help you. Obviously, when we spoke to him, it was in context of for the next map, but obviously that's not the case here. But it will at least make you feel a little bit better that you managed to get something done. You didn't just get completely stomped.
Well, we can see they're starting to get a little bit loosey-goosey. How does he get away with that? Oh dear, oh dear. Kaze, opener. He's going back for more. He's going back for more, Mitch. He wants it. And someone has maybe called Izzy. He's like, oh no, come back. Go on. Calm down. Okay, they've given up connector control. This is looking a bit better for the T side. They've still got to deal with Kaze and Jam Young at the back of this A site. Oh, he's unscoped. Potentially a chance here. There is the wraparound coming in from behind of Orman as well. These have been the sort of danger 3 so far in this match. Jam Young's actually going to sneak his way all the way back into the corner. I don't know if they'd expect him to be here at this point. This could be a real problem. Kaze just sat towards the back. I think they know they have to clear this. If he gets the timing right, he's got a free kill for sure. Looking for the bomb plant. There's 1, there's 2, and while Kaze is alongside him to close it. I really do like the small adaptations we see from Vici. That was a risk being taken by Jam Young, but I think he knew his teammate had his back. And to thread the needle like that into the corner, individually, he wins them the round. Once again, money is ruined. So after gaming, are just going to be going for some pistols once more. And, yeah, that was their best chance. That was the best opportunity because both Advent and Zoking got taken down relatively easy. But then these 3 players have been genuinely superb. I can't take anything away from them.
We have said a couple of times, right? Jam Young looks like the best player in this region. I think it comes down to his decision-making as well as his individual skill. Like, somebody can come through and make these incredible plays, but he does it a little bit too often. When you go to the international scene, I don't know if he ports over quite as well. And even from what we've seen, it doesn't necessarily. But Jam Young has this very grounded play style where he doesn't get this super aggressive style. He just wrecks people. That's what I love about watching him. When you look into this round, you shouldn't, basically. There's not a lot to look into, is there? I really feel bad for After. Like, this is just embarrassing. Getting wrecked.
Yeah, pretty much. There's not been anything to really write home about. Like, the closest rounds they've had have been like, okay, the round where there was the bomb almost went off.
Oh, that was a good one, yeah.
It was close. It was like a 0.1 second, and then they won the round. But unfortunately, they still didn't. Money is now through there. And this is what I was saying earlier. Like, because they didn't win any of those close rounds at the beginning, I think they just got shut out of the match. And Kaze is now having a field day. That flashbang actually probably denied him getting a kill. But he gets the second one and then goes back for more. Why not? He's got 20 kills and 3 deaths. He can do anything. Can he get out of here, though? Oh, maybe not. You're not actually going to peek this, are you? Surely not.
Of course he is.
I guess at this point you don't care. But, like... Oh, Jam Young's got it. Never mind. Didn't even need to.
Oh, man.
20 and 3. Holy cow.
You don't see it every day, do you? You really don't. Yeah, at this point, you know, we've had a couple times where we're saying, like, what's the coach doing? I don't think there's anything that you can really say in this position that's going to make this easier. It's not like it is a strategy that isn't working. It's not like it's the approach to the round. Vici are just better. That is plain and simple. And you see what we mean about this whole Tyloo thing? You can have close games versus Tyloo, and it means nothing. Because Tyloo don't treat you with respect. They come in as if you're a bunch of noobs in matchmaking. They push absolutely everything. They give you every opportunity. And then you play against Vici, who are arguably a little bit worse than Tyloo, certainly based on the history those teams have. And you get smacked because they don't give you those chances. They don't play brain dead. They come in focused as if you are Tyloo, as if you're any other team.
That's the thing, though. I think it depends on the wording you use, because I think Vici are a better team.
Yes.
It's just that as a unit, it just seems that Tyloo managed to play better together. But I genuinely think we could see them take them down. Like, they are getting to the point where they just look so unstoppable. If they could just break Tyloo once or twice, I think that could build up. Oh, Kaze's going to get his fourth death, but he did a lot of damage in between. Maybe a second round on the cards, potentially. Advent, he's going to go down. It's left to Ormond to clutch, but oh, he's going to peek him. It's risky. Hey! 13-2.
They did something patronizing at all. Well,
overdid it
a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
I will say, possibly. No. Oh God, nobody wants that. So yeah, 13-2. They've delayed the inevitable. And I can say that after in this series, they are definitely a bigger flop than Mortal Engines. Biggest flop.
Haven't
of all
lost
time.
as much money there.
yeah, they haven't lost whatever 180 million or so. Thankfully, I think
if anything, at a minimum, they've gained $3,000.
There you go.
There you go.
They're more successful than Mortal Engines.
There you go. That's a good sign, at least. Well, pistol round underway. Zoking's just going to walk straight into his opponent. This is looking better. We could be getting to the big 3, which everyone knows is the magic number. Oh, it's left onto Ormond, though. Oh, he's digged up 2 of them. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, that's really awkward. He only needed to land 1 bullet. Surely he's dead now. Eventually. There was definitely a chance for him to win this round, but they've made it to 3, Mitch. I'm not going to do the song again, although I was tempted to.
Da, da, da. Excuse me. Yeah, it is what it is. I've got nothing, Tom. I've genuinely got nothing. I feel like anything I say here is just going to be incredibly insulting to a team. You know what it's like? You know that Simpsons? They stop. He's already dead. There's just no point. Like, if I have to get to 13-10, I'll start believing. I don't think anyone sat here going, oh, they might come back, you know? Maybe. It's been so abysmal from them so far. And so good from from Vici.
Cardinal sin.
Well, they're...
Oh.
winning by so much, it might as well be Tyler. 4 rounds. It is better than nothing, that is for damn sure.
Well, not going to be anything invested into this round for Vici, so the goal is to get a bomb plant. Potentially give some extra money over to get Kaze his AWP, which has been truly unstoppable. It is really wonderful to watch when he has one of his standout games. Obviously, he's not someone that we talk about having like a lot of bad games, that's for sure. But like to have those truly showstopper matches, he is an unreal talent. There has been no one on the other side to be able to match up to him so far. Quick push in, looking for the bomb plant. Nade's going to go through. Okay, Ormond. Oh, dear. No, okay. 2 nade kills sort of brought things back. Sakai actually playing with a deagle himself. Nice shot. And now it's left all onto Ormond. He's trying to catch the rotation out, but unfortunately this time it isn't to be. 2 kills, a bomb plant, not all that bad, especially considering what weaponry is currently in play for after gaming. Vici are going to come in with a much better buy. And that bomb plant has given Kaze the ability to get AWP and armor. So that is a nice little bonus for them.
Wow, it's a great round for after. At least they got a round win on the board. Downside of which is that obviously they allowed the bomb plant And they lost a lot of players considering what they were up against, which was basically nothing. I wouldn't be happy if I was After Gaming, but hey, it's better than most of the rounds they had in the previous map. Now they come into this round up against the Rifles. This is where things should spiral out of control based on what we've seen before. Sakai able to get 3! Up close on the ramp, shutting them down. Kaze running sprays him. That's not too bad, but he was low. Puts it into a 2v3, but Celeste across with the bomb in hand. Nades coming over to try and stop them and slow them down. The smoke into Palace. Walked off one angle at least so they can feel comfortable peeking stairs. Good nade onto Jam Young. That was for default or back corner. And Kaze's in a 1v3. Pretty difficult position to win from. And I gotta say, big props over to After. Well handled in this round. Nobody's been over peeking. And that ramp hold by Sakai was huge.
Well, turns out all they needed to do was get to 2, and that was enough to springboard them back into this. Not even going to be a bomb plant. Still going to be a decent amount of loss bonus gathered for the side of Vici. So if they did want to go for a buy in this round, they definitely can. It would have some limitations when it comes to utility. Other than that, it wouldn't be too bad a spot. We're also yet to see that AWP come back out. But yeah, really nice round from Sakai. Well, things starting to look at least a little bit more flattering than they would have done. It is going to be the buy straight back in. Orman is going to drop down to a Galil, but everybody else with a similar buy to last round. Timing shot goes a miss, but only just. You can see them press and probe around the map, at least in the early stages. But they've managed to gain quite a lot of control. Middle's basically theirs. The CTs have fallen into much more passive positions, holding behind the back of window into short. Ladder room as well. Actually, far more defensive of this B site by the looks of it. A quicker rotation in that direction, that's for sure. If it was to go towards A again, it'd probably have to be a retake.
Well, I was muted that whole time, Tom. That's unfortunate. Problem with coughing earlier on. This was so winnable. And it's all down to Sakai to try and get it in a 1v2. This is just depressing. I thought they had it in the bag. He taps it, looking to bait these players into the open. He gets one! And Kaze, well, he swung, almost giving the opportunity away. But in the end, Vici take it 14-6.
And never in doubt. The guy has been unreal. 26-8. Close round in the end, but sort of settles things for them. Well, they just about hold on in that round. Still, the CT side do actually have enough money to buy into this one. And with only one player surviving for the Ts, it's going to be a bit more of an uncomfortable buy. Of course, for After, if they lose this round, they lose the match. That's basically it. They'd have to win a force buy with pistols and maybe at most a couple of SMGs. There wouldn't be anything good in it, so realistically they have to fight back from here. And for the Ts, well, their money would be in a fair bit of trouble as well, so it's not like they're out of the woods just yet, but they are very, very close.
I mean, I can guarantee nobody on the Vici team is breaking a sweat right now. They're still in recliner mode, laying back, chilling. But Wang's managed to open it up. It's getting dangerous, and their nap's being interrupted. Marek, full blind for about 15 seconds. Couldn't see a goddamn thing. He's able to find one still, and Oi comes in. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. Great work by Oi, shutting it down. They find the final player, and 14-7. After are looking a lot better on the CT side, and this is the team we kind of expected to see. As I mentioned, there's a lot of capable individuals on this team. Even the weakest link of Sakai, from what we've seen in the past, seems to be just completely tuned in and ready to go. And despite 26 kills on Kaze, Vici are struggling to close this one out. Now, I expected a close game. On some of the rounds, at least. I think After should only have fallen behind when it came to tactics, but on the previous map and the first half of this, they just were not winning any duels.
Well, they got to be careful here. We've talked about weak B site holds in a lot of matches so far, and this execution is making things tough. So blind. Marek, at least, is still standing, but it seems like the push is a little bit delayed. Half the team going, half the team not. Orman has at least retrieved a rifle, but not for long. And Advent's going to be shut down as well. I felt like that was more down to Vici than it was to After. Like, they hold it quite well, but the fact that there was 2 players out and 2 players still within the apartments is definitely a bit of a mistake for them. Of course, it was only an eco round, but nonetheless. After are now climbing back into this one, jokingly sort of talking about them getting to 2 rounds. Well, since then, they have got to 8. Still a long, long road ahead of them. But realistically, getting more and more doable as the rounds go by.
Well, there's a nice opening by Bingo. Through 2 smokes, he manages to find that. Fantastic stuff. And for Vici, they're barreling in towards the B side. You've got Oi tucked in on short, but they've actually managed to sneak Jam Young out. All these steps being made in apartments just to cause the rotations over. And Jam Young, he hears the op. He heard the scope. He doesn't want to peek into that, but he had no idea Sakai was up close on ramp. Having been let out with so much access, he never thought it was going to be that clean. And so a 4 versus 3 as After still maintain that advantage, but they don't seem to be watching Auman as he comes right up close. He's gonna drop on their head. He literally lands on top of Marek. Easiest kill of his life.
Oh, definite opportunity there, but I have just slipped away. Advent trying to still push back through. He's going to spot 1, but there should be a player within shot. He manages to get past and looks for the second. Advent may not be the star fragger, but he's given one of them a chance. Kaze, as said, he's been unstoppable so far, and these are the situations where he seems to be the toughest to beat. Spotting over the top, trying to catch a player rotating through the market. But because he's seen nothing, he now starts to become wary of short, and in fact, he might have just missed the boat as they've gone pushing through the door. Making quite a bit of sound, though. He's going to hear everything. Wang goes for the peek. It's an instant headshot. He makes it around the corner, and he's going to clutch it again. He's been unreal in this series. Wasn't really tested on Nuke, but they needed a round, and he's going to find it. It's 15-8 now in favor of Vici. And while Kaze reaches his 28th kill, I sort of made reference to the fact that I don't think Jam Young would be able to hit 30 because there wouldn't be enough rounds. In the first map, I was definitely right. In the second one, Kaze has actually had to put up some stats.
Yeah, he's been called on, but he's answering the call and showing that he isn't here to mess about. I want to give big respect to After, though, for making this kind of a comeback into a position where they can at least find all these rounds after being 16-1 and 13-2. You wouldn't imagine that there'd be a whole lot left in the tank, but these guys, as I said earlier, they don't want to end up in a position where they get back-to-back 16-1. They're dominated. They want to make sure at least that this map is close, even if they do lose, which is quite likely at this point. They've got to fight for 7 consecutive rounds just to find an overtime. And that ain't too likely. I like Bingo's angle, though. He's inside the smoke. He's ready to push, and he's going to catch them off guard. A great start to the round in a 4v2.
Well, I'm not going to count out these two. It's Kaze and Jam Young. The youngsters within this team, the two that can do the damage, but Jam Young won't do enough. And while it isn't going to be enough for Kaze either. It is 2 surviving for After Gaming. Dinko needs to learn to mute his microphone. And we are going to have a 15-9 scoreline.
What do you mean?
Kids, huh? Kids.
I know, kids these days. They don't know what a mute button is. But yeah, 15-9. This is a position for Vici that is undeniably favorable, but they have struggled in the last couple rounds to get anything on the board. I mean, where was this after from the start, you know? How do we have seen that? Because their T side was just them losing every single duel. Like, there's... I don't even think it requires more analysis than that. If you look at every single fight that they took, they lost them. Like, they would get the jump on someone, shots would miss, Vici would react faster. In opening duels at the moment, After have found a total of 8. So, matching up almost with the rounds that they've got. And most of those have been on the CT side. I would almost guarantee that any openings they found on the T side were traded back pretty much immediately. In this position, we should be seeing just a 10th round here for After. Just a few pistols, but they've got full smokes for the execute.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say the CT side of this map has been far better than their CT side of Nuke, but really too much to write home about. Sakai, I don't like this position. Just get out of there. You know that they don't have much in this round. Sure, it's going to be an afterplan. They're going to go pushing through. What is SoKing doing? The man's in front of you. He was so fixated on the corner, and now there is a player in the corner. They've made some mistakes here, that's for sure. It's left onto Kaze. He'll only get 1. It's some extra money in the bank, but ultimately with the loss bonus being almost at max, probably at max at this point, Vici are going to have a buy nonetheless. 30th kill for Kaze at least. And if they were to go on to lose this, he might have a chance to actually break the 38 record that has been set by multiple players in this tournament so far. I'd be very surprised. If they let this slip after being 13-2 up or even 13-1 up, that would be the biggest slip up probably ever. Then again, I think I've definitely seen a 14-1 go 16-14 the other way, courtesy of the legendary Gambit roster.
I had the same with Endpoint versus Pack 2 years ago on Overpass. 14-1 T-side. I think turned into overtime. This
might be going the way of Vici. It's taken them some time, but this round they just won every single duel. The aggression into middle hasn't worked out. And now with only 2 players left, they just started whiffing. It all disappeared in 1 round. And while it seems like they just wanted Kaze to get to 30, Mitch, that's all they needed. Orman will be there to close it. 16-10. The scoreline definitely more flattering than what it was on the last map. But even still, it is Vici Gaming getting the job done.
Yeah, excellent series by Kaze. And I think overall we can be relatively happy with After's recovery when it came through to that second map. But at the same time, this was dominant start to finish. It's exactly what we wanted to see from Vici. And what I want to see is what these 2 beautiful men think about the action that just went down. Because, of course, myself and One Punch Man